chapter, dashing through pages. Chronicles, Gospels, prophets, sages. Leviticus, laws to pause, find phrases. Turning them corners, your spiritual mazes. Genesis to Revelation, so divine. Flip them scripts, endless grace you'll find. Psalms singing sweet, unbroken lines. Hitting that rhythm, wordplay refined. Anybody in here blessed? Anybody in here blessed? Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? Wake up early, the dawn's light shimmers. Spiritual breakfast, soul food dinners. Isaiah's vision, Ezekiel's figures. Walk through the fire, no one limbers. Kings and judges, prophets profound. Plowing the word, no mythical ground. Verse after verse, wisdom's bound. Heavenly soundtrack, soul serving sound. Anybody in here blessed? Anybody in here blessed? Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? No shortcuts, all divine routes. Listen to the whispers, no room for doubt. Parables drop stronger than gold faucets. Souls hydrated from divine prophets. Study the book, change perspectives. Carefully crafted, not too subjective. A year to reflect, learning perfect. Patterns of grace that time can't deflect. Old Testament drops deep and so real. Kings and warriors, covenant seals. Split that Red Sea, divine reveal. Commandments written, not made of steel. Bethlehem birth to cross on the hill. Unfolding the never blessings, pastor with skill. Scripture flip, every verse fulfilled.
Through the word, every verse, every chapter, nothing unheard. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered. Spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ. Flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message. Flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extends. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered. Spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ. Flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message. Flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extends. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. 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 Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard
ministry. You also know what it means to be a gamer. And you know what it means to try to share Jesus in that space. I mean, you're doing it. You're in the lobbies, you're on Discord, you're in game chats, you're trying to be encouraging in your live stream chat, you're trying to bring hope into that stream. You're praying for the person behind the handle. Gaming might be the medium, but discipleship is the true mission, and you feel like you're doing this by yourself. But imagine you weren't doing it alone. You've got backup. Imagine you were equipped and resourced and linked with others who know that discipleship can happen where you're at, where other players are gathering. Imagine that your passion is coordinated. You can have fun and be intentional on your streams. What if there was a summit built just for you, for digital missionaries in the gaming world? What if you were not just playing together, but you were actually building the kingdom together? That is DMCon, a digital space for gamers who disciple and disciples who game. If you've ever questioned whether games could be sacred ground, this is your confirmation. The digital spaces you inhabit can become communities of belonging, healing, and gospel transformation. Jesus is already in the game. Let's discover where together. You're not alone. Come and see who else is with you right now. Register for DMCon today.
Welcome to the final countdown. Welcome to the final countdown to ReachConf 2025. You better be grabbing your tickets as soon as possible. For the gamers, the video game building has over 10 TV and console combination stations with Smash tourneys. VR folks are going to have a Beat Saber tourney. There's going to be PC and game demos, arcade machines that are all free to play, a retro arcade, and an optional bring your own computer PC LAN for the PC folks. For the tabletop gamers, there's going to be a 50-person mega Dungeons and Dragons one-shot. Lots of tabletop space for all of the board games, and there's going to be room for the trading card gamers. If you want to bring your Magic cards, bring your Pokemon cards, battle it out, let's go. We're calling all the cosplayers in the group also. There's going to be a 360-degree photo shoot, a daily team shoot, and daily winners. And beyond that, there's going to be awesome game shows so the audience can be called in to win real prizes, content creator training events, industry talks, and more. So make sure you get your tickets to ReachConf 2025 today.
I muted that because I was coughing. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you are doing well. All right, let me just check this a second. Okay, yeah, I like the level there. That looks good. All right, hope it's a good day for you. I will have a busy day. Imagine that, a busy day here in Digital Spaces, being digitally present, being digitally active, and engaging with people. And then, oh yeah, throw some IRL meetings in there too. And we got a podcast tonight over on the Church Digital. So if you're not over there, well, let's see, what is it, 8 o'clock tonight? Let me just go look. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. Oh, it just snickered by. There it is. Yes, 8 p.m. tonight is when it is. Let me just scroll through here. Yep. We switch the order of these. There we go. Now they're in the order that they're going, and I have some others that should be coming up. Okay. So, oh, we got judges. We're not in judges today. Why does it slide sometimes when I grab it? Oops, wrong thing. We're going to be in Luke. Luke today. Upper room is what's happening. All right, get our window capture. What am I looking for? Brain turn on. There we go. Like, why am I not? What can I not think? Why am I struggling here today? Okay. Eliminate that. Just doing a little cleanup here this morning. Avatars. Did not. There we go. It's not all the way down. I didn't notice that. So there we go. Sliding that down. That'll be good. We'll lock that back in so that can't get moved. So they're down there. Now, I had some people saying my did not like the way setup of some of my overlays. Okay. It doesn't bother me. Or a little busy. Perhaps. Or a little outdated. Yep, definitely. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, it seems clear to me, but I don't know. Don't know. Anyway, Down East, welcome in. Good morning. Second witness. No wonder the girl you're watching on Facebook is so, like, intimate with Jesus and Bible and preaching in public near your area. I go when you go to school. Okay, I'm missing part of that. No wonder the girl you're watching on Facebook is like intimate with Jesus and Bible and preaching in public near your area and you go to school. Don't know why she's so, but okay, no wonder. Cool. T West rocking the tracksuit today. Well, it's not a tracksuit. It's just a sweatshirt. It's just a sweatshirt. It's not a tracksuit. Nope, not rocking a tracksuit. It's just a big collar sweatshirt is all it is. That's okay. Well, you know, you can't see all of it. I can see from this angle. You could see it was you could make the assumption it was a tracksuit. I'm not faulting you for that. I'm just showing you. No, it's not. It's just a sweatshirt with a zipper. You've come back on Twitch just to share this. All right. Well, second witnesses, thank you. Yeah, the little head chills, super cool. All right, so we will be back tonight at 8 p.m. on the Church Digital for podcast. We should be back today at 2 o'clock. Maybe it's 3 o'clock. I think I need to switch that to 3 o'clock, but I don't know. For gaming, game of the week, that'll be coming. I don't even really advertise that one anymore. It's just the regular schedule, and that's really just to get on, and it'll be part of that. And then after that, 4 or 5, something like that, we'll be doing our biking for today. So back over here for biking. Down East, you do the same bike as your 2. It's a great cause. Oh, so you're doing Great Cycle Challenge. I have 131.7 miles so far. Let's get really precise there. You know what? I had been 164 in the state. Apparently, after I rode yesterday, more people rode. Let me just give an update and let me see what you watch. I am now 178th. More people rode yesterday. I'm only 4,000th in the nation. Yay me. Not bringing it home. But anyway. I am 25% of the way to the goal of 500 miles, which is where I should be after a week. I should get a ride in on Friday before I leave for the weekend, so that will be probably our stream on Friday. Well, maybe I'll do a little bit of Bible, but more likely we'll just jump on and ride on Friday. And Saturday, if I ride, it'll be in a stationary bike at the hotel. I've tried to think through bringing my bike along, and the problem is it would be tied on the outside of my vehicle all day while I'm at Ren Fair on Sunday before I come home. That's not a good plan. And then same thing on Sunday. Maybe it's going to be stationary bike if I do it in the morning before Ren Fair, which is probably a good chance I could do that. Or if I get home, it'll be too dark. So I probably will be Saturday and Sunday morning stationary bike streams, which will stink. I know they're not great, but I told you I wanted to share everything that I was doing with all of that. We got Raiders coming in, so let me welcome in Raiders. And we'll get caught up with the chat. Ukulele, welcome in. Freight Train, welcome in. I hope I got that. Is it Frey or Fry? My brain wants to say Frey, but that's probably why I'm wrong. Welcome in. Zeno, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Go Fina, good to see you. I'm watching. Good to see you. Papstio, welcome in. Wavy Cat, good to see you. Adorable Will, Violent Wind, welcome in, friends. Hope you're having a blessed day. I had no chance to figure out why my commands are not working. I do not know why Streamlabs bot is not working. I did go disconnect and reconnect, and I still haven't. I've had no time to figure out what the problem is. So, sorry, still no commands. Maybe today I'll have chance to do that. I apologize. Your new friend Zeno is struggling with the way to pass sin despite being baptized yesterday. Can you talk to them a bit? Well, on some level, that is the enemy going to be telling you you're not worth anything, and Jesus says you are. So, if you're not returning to those things, if you're not, I mean, it's not to say, hey, if you need to repay, because look at Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus went and repaid others that he had wronged. So it's not to say, oh, you haven't done wrong and you don't need to make things right. If you can, you should. But it's not, your future is not dependent upon your past. It's only the present and your relationship with Jesus today. So, I know that's helpful, but that's what I got, unless you ask more questions. All right, so let's see, where was I at? So second witness, this woman you're speaking with, pretty much sure Jesus now, literally, and her name also because is literally, she is with Jesus on Facebook. That's pretty cool. Luce's welcome in. Welcome in. So, oh yeah, that's what I normally do when a raid comes in. Sorry, I got distracted there, Ukulele. I have hats. I have fish. We read the Bible. We do a lot of other things there. I'm not trying to be anybody else. I am who I am. And that's what you get here. And we spend time reading in God's Word. I believe that it is best when you do it in community. It's best when you do it out loud. The Bible was not made or created so that you can hide away in a closet, read it by yourself, and not talk to anybody about it. It was meant to be heard, read aloud, or recited aloud in community so that we could all engage it together and engage one another around what it has to say. So that's what we do here on stream. You have things to contribute. You have things that the Holy Spirit is speaking to you as you hear it. And you have questions. And you have insights that you already have heard from reading it before or other messages. So we share that all together. We learn and we grow. And we see what God is speaking to us today. So thank you. Welcome in. And if you have questions, we go and we deal with those. But otherwise, we read through Messiah Monday. So that's reading about Jesus on Mondays. Torah Tuesday is going to be gone for a month. So that's gotten shifted to Torah Thursday. Wisdom Wednesday, one of the books of wisdom, which I don't know. We just know we do have a little bit of Ecclesiastes or Song of Solomon to finish. And then Torah Thursday now, we will start a new book. We finished Deuteronomy. Friday favorites will not be here this week. I will be doing a bike ride. Also, I'm riding bike for fighting for kids who have cancer to help there. I'm riding 500 miles this month, and I'm streaming all 500 miles to the best of my ability. And we have got 131.7 miles. Yes, it does the 0.7. So, you know, I get credit for all those little pieces that you get done. Let me see. There was, I don't know. Do I have it open over here? I do not see it open. Let me find that a minute. And I'll share that because we are going to do bum 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 bum. Wow, it's a ways down. There we go. Okay, bum bum bum. Wow. Why did it do that? That's not what it should. It should have copied the... Well, I don't know sometimes. There was no text, and it copied text. There we go. All right, we are passing the cap for Christian Ninja, trying to help be able to get treatment for his wife, Anita. Needs to go into a mental health facility, which is $27,000 to get her inpatient treatment. And so we are fundraising for that. So if you would like to contribute, here is the link to be able to give. And also, you're giving in Canadian money, so it's not real money anyway. It's just Canadian money. It'll go a long way. Anyway, if you're able to help our friend Christian Ninja, there is a link. We're passing the cap for Christian Ninja right now. Okay. Zeno, you feel so guilty. You know God forgave us and forgives us sin, but it's just so hard for me to forget about it and forgive yourself. I don't know how to change your mind about it being hard to forgive yourself. Nor, you know, holding on to the feelings of what you've done and not wishing that you couldn't do it better or differently or undo it. I can't change that. All I can tell you is that's not how God sees you. He sees you as forgiven. If there's something you can do to restore or repay things that you've done wrong, then by all means seek to do that. But otherwise, the current state that you are is forgiven. And that's the thing to focus on. Raggio, hello, welcome in. Hey, 27, yes, 27K. Yes, it is a lot. Yes, if you give anything, yeah, it's Canadian. If you give it anything besides Canadian, it's giving more. Yes, well, if it's US dollars, then I don't know what. We could figure that out. We'll just do 27 CAD to USD. So it would be 1956. So instead of 27,000, it's 19 and a half in US dollars. So that's what I was saying. It goes a lot farther. Yeah, ukulele. Whoa, if I'm not seeing it one way and it's not how God sees it, I need to strive to be in alignment with God. Well, yeah, but also, I mean, as a father, the way that I see my kids isn't always the way they see themselves. Kids often struggle too with seeing that they have worth and value. Like, go watch a kid when they fail at some sporting event and they're striving really hard and they strike out. I'm just picking on baseball because I went to a baseball game yesterday. They strike out. They drop the ball. They cause an error on the field. And I still view you as my child, and you're still amazing, and that's okay. You know, next game, you'll be better. That's how I view it. And God views us the same way. So it's, yes, we want to see ourselves that way, but there's a reality. I can never see myself the way God sees me. I can't. I'm not God. I don't have the capacity to see myself the way God sees me. I also, at times, am not always great at seeing myself the way anybody else sees me. I have my view. And if I don't want to dwell on the things I've done wrong, and I should strive to have a different focus. So I agree with what you're saying, Ukulele. I'm just saying it a different way. You don't think forgiveness is about forgetting so much as about not being separated from God. Well, yeah, and he does talk about our sins he removes as far as the east is from the west, which is infinite amount and does not end. The whole forgetting thing is, I think maybe more dwelling on is a different way of focusing on it. I'm not worried about forgetting things. I'm just not dwelling on those things. Like if I was dwelling on all the things I did wrong, I am not living how I could be living right now. If I weigh all the things I've done wrong with all the things I've done right, I'm trying to balance the scales. I'm not trying to balance the scales. There is guilt that you have for the things you've done wrong. There is grace, which God extends to you. And there's gratitude, which is, how do I live in light of what God has done for me? I live out of gratitude. So I'm thankful for the sun coming up today. I'm thankful for the roof over my head. I'm thankful I'm in a warm building. I'm thankful for having some beautiful tea, having warm clothes, having salvation, having forgiveness, having friends. I'm thankful for all of that stuff. So we have ads rolling in here, so let's go take a look at the fishies so nobody misses anything. Second witness, you hope you have courage someday to go with this group of people I'm watching on Facebook. I think because they're preaching in the streets, you commute to school. Well, not everyone's called to preach in the streets. That's not something I would plan to ever do. I want to have a one-on-one conversations with people. You live near? Yeah, that's cool. If that's something you feel called to do, that's great. It's not a thing I will plan to do.
Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flat Cat Pastor shows the way. Stream it live, come what may. With his cam he shows it all. Little fish both big and small. Life in ponds so serene. Nature's beauty on a screen. See the ripples, watch the flow. Hear the music, gentle glow. Flat Cap's charm and calming tone makes the fish feel right at home. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flat Cat Pastor shows the way. Stream it live, come what may. Refuse Cammy shows it all. Little fish, both big and small. Life in ponds so serene.
All right. Second witness. You're just watching them on Facebook, their content. Yeah, and it's cool that they're close by. You might be able to go and just watch them in person, which would be fun, and maybe get to know them would be kind of a cool thing. Actually, that's Zeno. Did I say Xo? Xno, Zeno, right? Thank you for this. You recently gave your life to God on August 16th, and you just got baptized yesterday. Congratulations. I think after I got baptized, the enemy is mad and started spiritually attacking you. Yeah, and the enemy likes to tell us we're not worthy. The enemy likes to tell us our mistakes. The enemy likes to tell us that we're not good enough. The enemy likes to give us thoughts and say, hey, you can't be, but go look at, and this is one of the things that's beautiful about the Bible. We know all the flaws of Moses. We know all the flaws of David. Who is the best king? David. We know his flaws. Who was the best prophet? That no one was a prophet like Moses until Jesus. That would have been Moses. Moses. One day there'll be a prophet like Moses who killed someone. Yeah. So the enemy, and then look at how the enemy attacked Moses. I'm slow of speech and slow of tongue. I can't speak in front of people. I can't go do it. The enemy likes to tell us those things. So, there's a difference of realizing, oh, you know what? I do this every once in a while. I have a sleep wrist band. It's just supposed to, body rhythm thing. Every once in a while, I just forget to take it off when I get up in the morning. I'm like, I don't need the cool, mellow vibes all day long and sleep rhythm. Let's take that off so we don't fall asleep while streaming. Okay. But getting a Christian community where you can learn and grow, find out more about yourself, find out more about Jesus, start pursuing and realize we are all growing and we all have things that we want to strive to be better at. So, yeah, I'm not there. Some people want to hide all their flaws. I think it's a bad thing to hide all your flaws. I think hiding your flaws makes other people think that they're not worthy. Also, it makes you unrealistic because if you're hiding your flaws, I don't know you. I can't know you. So, anyway, Zeno, welcome in. Glad you're here. Excited about you coming and finding faith. What I would say is read more of God's word, spend time in God's word, and be around others who are pursuing to look like and behave like and love like Jesus. The itching is better. Still itchy, but you're better. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know how to make it go away. I mean, you've got treatment, so hopefully that will keep working supersonic. Cat Jam. All right, so we have been, here's our schedule. We talked about that a little bit, and we're in Luke, and we're going to jump into the Festival of Unleavened Bread. So I actually just listened to this podcast yesterday. This was super cool. This is jazz hands time here. They were talking about how Holy Week is set up in a reflection of creation, that each day as you go through Holy Week has a corresponding piece of connection with creation and the days of creation. And then they were explaining, I don't have a full grasp on all of that, but the different things that are laid out in relationship to things, there's a connection throughout Holy Week. So the next time you're reading through all of the triumphal entry of there is the king who is triumphing, and there is the reversal of David leaving the city on a donkey when Absalom chases him out of the city, and Jesus in the direction he goes and where he comes from, and Jesus reversing that. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff paralleling the days of creation throughout. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's super cool. And how are you doing? I'm watching. Good to see you. I hope you're feeling well, friend. I hope you're doing well. Okay. Now the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is called the Passover, was approaching. So the Feast of Unleavened Bread was a week-long celebration that followed the day of Passover. So one name was used for both festivals. You're okay. You can breathe, and you're getting better at waking up early in the morning again, slowly. Oh, I'm glad to hear you're waking up better. Glad to hear you are sorry, breathing better. I'm glad to hear you're breathing better. That will definitely help you hopefully get better sleep and more rested and be able to wake up earlier. Okay. So the Feast of Unleavened Bread is approaching. The chief priests, the experts in the law, were trying to find some way to execute Jesus, for they were afraid of the people. So who is it trying to execute them? It is the chief priests. Okay, it's the chief priests. We often think it's the Pharisees, but we need to think about it's those in Jerusalem that are Pharisees. It's those of the Sanhedrin. It is the chief priests. So it's not all Pharisees, not Pharisees from the Galilee region who are seeking to do this to Jesus. I'm watching. Yeah, true, because waking up multiple times at night just to open your mouth and breathe was really messing up your sleep schedule. The cold had you in a headlock for almost 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, that's not good. I think, struggling with some allergies at this time of year and lots of sinus stuffiness. So not any major thing going on, but just, yeah, seasonal change. Then Satan entered Judas. Okay. The one called Iscariot, who was one of the 12. What do we have here? I want to go read entered. So let's go see Luke 22. Isercome.
Strong's G 1525. Eis ergamai.
Okay, so this is enter, go, come in, go, enter, come, arise, to go. So it's just a generic entering into is how this is. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me turn the music on. Did not do that. Okay. So this is how, if that's first use, if your righteousness does not exceed the scribes and Pharisees, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Okay. So this is on some level gaining access to. So I don't make the assumption that this is a demon possession or satanic possession of Judas. It is entering into. Not entirely sure how we're to understand that, but I'm just saying is I don't think we have to think of this as being possessed. And one of the reasons why I want to go in that direction a little bit and think through this a second is if depending on what you view of demon possession, I'll thank you for the hug. Demon possession, is it I become autonomous and you are driving and I am just your robot and I have no control over the things that I do because you have entered in and now you drive me and I do what you tell me? No. I think also if you study and look into possessions of things, there is a relational thing where there is, and it seems to me this is, at least as I've looked and studied things, an invitation to enter into, a permission that is given to enter into. There does not seem to be, at least from what I've seen, and maybe there's some stuff I haven't, the forced entry into someone. Now, maybe there is the unknowing opening the door to and inviting in without full knowledge of what you are actually doing. I certainly believe that. What I'm saying is that if I refuse to let Satan or a demon enter me, they don't have the right to force me to. That's what it seems to be to me. Now, maybe there's ways in which you're opening the door. Like if you've ever watched the things where you have vampires can't enter your house unless invited in, and then they trick you into inviting them in. Okay, there could be some of that, potentially, that kind of an idea of being tricked into it. But I don't think we need to think of this as Judas has no control. I think it is a relational aspect of what's going on here that Judas is giving into Satan. So, okay. He went away and discussed with the chief priest and officers of the temple guard how he might betray Jesus, handing him over to them. They were delighted and arranged to give him money. So Judas agreed to and began looking for an opportunity to betray Jesus when no crowd was present. So here is the key. Judas is told, tell us where he is, potentially. I'm just reading through this based on what he does. So it's, hey, Judas, let us know when he's alone and there's no crowd. Come and get us. So that's what he's looking for. He's looking for an opportunity to betray Jesus when no crowd was present. Then the day for the feast of unleavened bread came, on which the Passover had to be sacrificed. Jesus sent Peter and John, saying, go and prepare the Passover for us to eat. Ukulele, agree. There is, to some extent, a choice to do something that is not God's will, and that is the open door to sin and to follow, allowing entry of something that is not God. Yeah, and if we go to some of the other things that we do know that were practiced, like the demon-possessed person in the graveyard, that you would have, cut your blood as a sacrifice to invite demons and the spirits of depending on how you view what they were practicing, the dead Nephilim to come and empower you or enter you, and you have a person called Legion because there's many spirits who have entered, and you're trying to continually do that. Okay, yeah, there is invitation, and there is trying to bring it in. Oh, why no crowds present? Second witnesses. Because they fear the crowd is not going to let them take Jesus and capture Jesus. The crowd would turn on them. So if the crowd turns against you, you don't want to do things to get the crowd against you. So that's why they want to do it privately, because if they did it in the temple, the crowd would cause a riot in regards to what they were doing. So, and this is true often in cases of you want to take someone that's well known and arrest them and do something. You do it under the, let's just pick on let's pick on Mick Jagger, for instance. Okay, I'm not going to, in the middle of a concert, go up on stage and arrest Mick Jagger and cause the crowd to be upset because the show isn't going to go on and they're going to riot in the middle of the concert. I'm going to arrest him when he gets on his tour bus afterwards. That's when I'm going to arrest him, so that the crowds are gone, nobody sees him, and there's no riot, and I don't have to deal with other problems. So that would be the reason, trying to think through all of that. I'm watching. Your introverted side would most likely keep the vampire out of your house, especially at night. I live alone, and you covet your space. Yeah. Well, there's like I said, there's not all of them have that lore of you can't come in unless invited, but sometimes they have that, like you have to invite them in, like can't cross the threshold kind of a thing, which always kind of like weird to me, but. There's also some lore in places too of holy ground that you can't harm or kill, or that demons can't go on holy ground and some stuff like that. Wavy Cat, you thought they all had to be invited? It depends on what what lore you're in, because different realms where they're doing it will have different things. Like, for instance, if you go back to the older stuff with, boy, it's not Bela Lugosi. It's before him. The, like, 1920s silent era movies with vampires, the vampire would sneak through the window. An open window would allow them to come in as a bat, and then voila, they're in the room, and then they would attack you while you were sleeping. They didn't have to be invited in. So it just depends on which lore you're following, kind of a thing. Yeah, so the old films didn't have it. Yeah, it's just like, you know, from one genre or one author to another, what are the rules around magic? You know, Harry Potter's magic is different than Tolkien and C.S. Lewis magic. So, second witness, yeah. Jesus follower literally would protect him, I guess. Well, yes, the whole crowd. The crowd would just go crazy. So not just his disciples, but yeah. Okay, so yes, they are preparing the meal. They said to him, "Where do you want us to prepare it?" He said to them, this is such a fascinating story. "Listen, when you enter the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you." Water. Since women usually carried the jars, it would have been no problem for Peter and John to recognize the man Jesus is referring to. Okay. What do we have in the days of creation with water? Why is... Weird. Why did you block this? Okay. Okay, so we have... Let there be light, day 1. Let there vault in the sky, day 3. Let the water under the sky be gathered to the place, and let dry ground appear. God said the dry ground land, and gathered the waters he called sea. So is there a connection here with the water and it being gathered together in a vessel, being separated, chaos under control? So, like I said, I just listened to a podcast talking about how, and so I don't fully have all of this in my mind, how the Passover week parallels the days of creation, the 7 days of creation, which is just a fascinating thought. So that's why I just want to point it out. You can go spend some more time looking at it. I'm not sure fully what to do of how that overcomes, but there's the idea of Jesus is the creator, the Logos, and the new creation is coming about through the week that we celebrate as Holy Week, because Jesus is modeling after all of the days of creation through the week. And oh yeah, we get to the end of creation, and then there is, after God rested on the 7th day, which would be the Sabbath day, which nothing happens because Jesus is in the tomb, that after that we find the man in the garden, and he is supposed to be the gardener. Jesus is thought to be the gardener, and Mary is there, the woman who is there. So you have Adam and Eve in the garden again, and oh, there's no serpent in the garden when we get to Resurrection Sunday. There's no serpent in the garden when there's Jesus, the new Adam, and a woman who is the new Eve. So anyway, just throwing all that in case you're not here for everything. That's one of the ways of looking through it. Second, because I think Jesus' arrest was like literally an abduction, you think? Yeah, well, you know, yeah, it can be viewed that way. School run, Papstio. Have a blessed day, friend. Okay. Follow him into the house he enters and tell the owner of the house. So he may not be the owner of the house. He's just the servant doing the work. The teacher says to you, "Where is the guest room where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?" Then he will show you a large furnished room upstairs. Make preparations there. So they went and found things just as he had told them, and they prepared for Passover. Now, who is doing this? Who is doing this? Let's go back. Bum, bum, bum. Peter and John. Peter and John are the two doing this. So Peter, the senior most leader of the disciples, John, perhaps the youngest one of the disciples. So they're going to make preparations, and then the seating chart gets flipped from the proper order or an expected order. Now, when the hour came, Jesus took his place at the table, and the apostles joined him. And he said to them, I have earnestly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffered. Okay, what do we have here with desire? The phrase parallels the Hebrew infinitive construct and serves as the underlying enthusiasm for the bold meal. Okay. Verse 15. Let's go look that up. 15. With desire, I have desired. Ooh, 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 ooh. That is nice. Epitomeo. Epithomeo.
Strong's G, 1937. Epithumeo.
To turn upon a thing, to have desire for, long for, to desire, to lust after, covet. So look at like it is the thing that is the desire of your heart, I guess is the best way to talk about it. And so, oh yeah, it's first use. That whoever looks on a woman with lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. Many prophets and righteous men have desired to see these things that you see. I'm also wondering the Old Testament reference here. Okay, that doesn't feel like I got the right word concept there. All right. Anyway. Use Blue Letter Bible to understand the Hebrew and Greek words. Yes. I this is Blue Letter Bible. I often mention that. Somebody suggested I have that listed. But I cut off the part at the top where you can see that it's Blue Letter Bible. Yeah, I use Blue Letter Bible, not because it's the best reference, but because it's a free source, so anybody can look up the same way that I'm looking things up. So yes, blueletterbible.org, you can find and look up the words there. So I was wondering if this was the word that is used for jealous God, zealous God, but I don't see that connection there. But that's what I wondered. I tell you, I will not eat it again until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of God. Jesus looked to the celebration in the kingdom to come when the Passover is fulfilled. This reference could well suggest that some type of commemorative sacrifice and meal will be celebrated then, or the antecedent is the Passover sacrifice. The reference is not to the Lord's Supper, as some argue, but to Passover. Yes, so he's earnestly desired to eat Passover with them. That's exactly it. All right, we got ads coming in.
Countdown to ReachConf 2025. You better be grabbing your tickets as soon as possible. For the gamers, the video game building has over 10
You're going
TV
to prep
and console
breakfast.
combination
Thank you.
stations with
Have a
Smash
good
tourneys.
breakfast.
VR folks are going to have a Beat Saber tourney. There's going to be PC and game demos, arcade machines that are all free to play, a retro arcade, and an optional bring your own computer PC LAN for the PC folks. For the tabletop gamers, there's going to be a 50-person mega Dungeons & Dragons one-shot. Lots of tabletop space for all of the board games, and there's going to be room for the trading card gamers. If you want to bring your Magic cards, bring your Pokemon cards, battle it out, let's go. We're calling all the cosplayers in the group also. There's going to be a 360-degree photo shoot, a daily team shoot, and daily winners. And beyond that, there's going to be awesome game shows that the audience can be called in to win real prizes, content creator training events, industry talks, and more. So make sure you get your tickets to ReachConf 2025 today.
You know what it means to do ministry. You also know what it means to be a gamer. And you know what it means to try to share Jesus in that space. I mean, you're doing it. You're in the lobbies, you're on Discord, you're in game chats, you're trying to be encouraging in your live stream chat. You're trying to bring hope into that stream. You're praying for the person behind the handle. Gaming might be the medium, but discipleship is the true mission. And you feel like you're doing this by yourself. But imagine you weren't doing it alone. You've got backup. Imagine you were equipped and resourced and linked with others who know that discipleship can happen where you're at, where other players are gathering. Imagine that your passion is coordinated. You can have fun and be intentional on your streams. What if there was a summit built just for you, for digital missionaries in the gaming world? What if you were not just playing together, but you were actually building the kingdom together? That is DMCon, a digital space for gamers who disciple and disciples who game. If you've ever questioned whether games could be sacred ground, this is your confirmation. The digital spaces you inhabit can become communities of belonging, healing, and gospel transformation. Jesus is already in the game. Let's discover where together. You're not alone. Come and see who else is with you right now. Register for DMCon today.
All right, so if you want more info on the conference there, missionary.digital. If you want to hang out, the conferences are free. There are 4 conferences, actually, not just the gaming conference, but please go sign up. If you can't attend, that's okay. You'll be able to get the VODs later, and it helps us be able to promote it to, and they're free, by the way, but to the sponsors so that they will see that we have a bunch of people interested in being digital missionaries. So there's a digital missionary conference on September 17. So we're like a week plus away from that conference already. Wow. The 24th, recovery ministry, the 1st of October, European conference. October 8 is the conference for the digital gaming conference. And I would love to have you all hanging out and being a part of that. So more info, go to and just sign up missionary.digital. All right, so Jesus is talking about the Passover. I have earnestly desired to eat this Passover before I suffer. So the Passover is when the lamb was sacrificed so that God's judgment would pass over the people. To go back to Zeno, if you're still here, the idea with the Passover lamb, the only thing that was necessary for the people that were following God was not that they were perfect. It was that the blood was put on the doorpost so that the angel of death would pass over their house. So here, Jesus was wanting to celebrate that God would pass over them. And now he is going to become the Passover lamb so that God will pass over us and not count us guilty of anything that we've done. He is not going to bring that judgment upon us. So Jesus is celebrating the Passover, and he's not going to do it again until it's fulfilled in the kingdom of God. What does that mean? Well, is it when he becomes fulfilled by resurrection or by death, burial, or resurrection? Is that what it means by fulfilled? That's what I tend to think. Some people think, no, this is the eternal. When you get there, maybe it's when he returns. I'm not really concerned about that. The point is that he wanted to do this so very much, and he is doing this. So there we go. Then, so after this, after he's talking them about this, and after they've eaten the meal, then he took a cup. Oh, wait a minute. Only Luke mentions 2 cups in this meal. The original synoptic gospel, the other synoptic gospels, Matthew and Mark, mention only 1. This is the first of the 2. It probably refers to the first cup in the traditional Passover meal, which today has 4, although it is debated whether the 4th cup was used in the 1st century. yeah, it's not certain fully if they were practicing the 4 cups or not, or if that develops later. So he took a cup, and after giving thanks, take this and divide it among yourselves. For I tell you, from now on, I will not drink the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God comes. So we have the cup, divide it among yourselves. Then he took bread, and after giving thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, this is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Some significant Western witnesses, D.I.T., lack the words from this point on. However, the authenticity of the verse is very likely. It is found in a variant of witnesses that represent a broad geographical base, rendering the rise of the shorter reading much easier to explain than the reverse. Further, the inclusion of the second cup is the harder reading since it differs from Matthew and Mark. Further discussion of this complicated problem. Okay, so they're saying is D eliminates everything after this because there's the repetition of the cup, which makes it more confusing. So then why include that? Okay, so this is my body broken for me. He does not say, and I'm not picking on anyone's theology, okay? I'm only pointing out what it says in the text, and also how I sometimes, well, I should say, how I always phrase it, and then how that gets me to have people perceive that I think something different than I am. Jesus doesn't say it becomes his body. He doesn't say it represents his body. He says it is his body. How and to what degree? There's where we get into the problems and the discussions. I'm not worried about those when I say this is my body. Jesus said, this is my body. I am accepting Jesus at his word. I don't need to have a scientific understanding. I don't need to have a spiritual understanding. I just need to have a personal understanding that it is. Yep, Jesus said it, and so it is. This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. In the same way, he took the cup after they had eaten. So, the same way that he took and consumed it, he takes the cup. So, the cup on some, if it is the 4, there is the Elijah cup or the Messiah cup that you are expecting, and you would have an empty seat at the table with the, like I said, we don't know if this is practiced first century, but this is the practice that happens later. So if it is true, this could be part of what Jesus is thinking through or participating in at the Passover. So you would have the cup that was for the Messiah or for Elijah, and you would not drink from it. And there would be the empty seat at the table for Elijah or for the Messiah, depending on how you viewed that aspect of things. And if he is sitting there and they've left no empty seat, and he takes the cup, which is supposed to be for the Messiah, and he says, take and drink from the cup, and they drink from the cup, they're all drinking from the Messiah cup, and they're going to know exactly what he's proclaiming that to be. There's going to be no question. Okay. So he takes the cup after they had eaten and said, this cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood. So he's not literally pouring the cup out here. This is the cup is poured out for you, is the new covenant in my blood. The cup is the new covenant in his blood. So the blood that would be on the doorpost, that is the covenant that is going on. That is the protection that we have. But look, the hand of the one who betrays me is with me on the table. For the Son of Man is to go just as it has been determined, but woe to the man who he is betrayed. Well, there are lots of woes that we have throughout Scripture. Here's one specific woe to the one who is going to betray him. So they began to question one another as to which of them it could possibly be who would do this. So We have the institution of the supper. He gives them the cup and says, divide this among yourselves. He gives them the bread. He says, this is my body. He takes the cup and he says, this is the new covenant. So we're sitting at the table. We are there with Jesus. And after he has announced that what he is about to do, he says he's going to be betrayed, which also is part of what's necessary for him to be able to do what he is going to do. And what do? They get sidetracked on who's the one going to do it. Who's the one going to do it? A dispute also started among them over which of them was to be the greatest. So you've got a betrayer who is going to betray Jesus, and you're like, well, it wouldn't be me. Well, no, it wouldn't be me. Well, I would never do that. I'm better than that. Well, I'm better than you. I'm the greatest in the king. So the disheartening thing about Jesus going to be betrayed turns the disciples into a competition of who is the greatest in the kingdom. Is that just sad on some level? Anyway. So Jesus said to them, the kings of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those in authority over them are called benefactors. Not so with you. Okay, wait. Benefactors. What do we have here? The title benefactor highlights grace and means something like helper of the people. Was even given to tyrants. So, if I fund what you're doing, I'm your benefactor, and voila, I'm all that in a bag of chips, baby. So, like, I guess think about the way that North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un, and before that his father, are praised by the people, even though they are the source of all the people's problems. I mean, just to be honest, he's the source of all the people's problems. And yet he's the one that the people praise because everything that they have comes from the benevolent leader of the country. So yeah, that's how Gentiles do it. They have a supreme authority over, and they get to be called the benefactor because everything you have is a gift from them. Not so with you. Instead, the one who is the greatest among you must become like the youngest, and the leader like the one who serves. The greatest must become like the youngest, and the leader like the one who serves. Bearded cheese, a spot of tea. English breakfast this morning, friend. Thank you. And good morning to you. The leader like the one who serves. Leadership was not to be a matter of privilege and special status, but of service. All social status is leveled out by these remarks. Jesus himself is the prime example of the servant leader. Yeah, and you know what we've done too with this phrase in the last couple of decades is we have elevated servant leadership outside of actually being servant leader. And our striving to be servant leaders, we've elevated people who are leaders once again. Like, we can't help it. Every time we strive for this. So it's really, how do you view others? I'm not better than any other streamer. Nope, I'm not the best out there. I don't care if a Christian streamer never reads the Bible. Doesn't mean because I read the Bible, I'm better than them. Doesn't mean because I have a degree, I'm better than them. No. If they're out there loving people in the space, never sharing the Bible, and I mean that, not sharing their faith, not sharing Jesus, but just saying, hey, they're not witnessing from the standpoint of, well, they're not just preaching, they're not just doing the gospel. No, they're loving people and comforting them and whatever they're doing. I don't get to be better than them because I'm doing something different. If you're out as an individual streamer and you're not serving in a community, it doesn't make you less than. If you're not in a physical church and you're not serving on some committee or teaching Sunday school, it doesn't make you less than. In fact, the person that might be the most might be the person that is helping the homeless, not going to the homeless shelter, or feeding the poor, not going to the food pantry, but just doing it in their home, or just doing it out of their pocket, or just doing that as they see people in need. That might be the best. They're just serving. They're not leading, but they are serving. And in their serving, they are leading. So, yeah. Okay. Wavy Cat. Have you ever used the tea service called Sipsby? I have not. I am kind of picky about my tea. I only use loose leaf, and I want it as fresh as possible. So I don't want tea bags with that tea dust kind of stuff. So, second, North Korea feels like it's as bad as the Bible days governing. Yeah, Babylon king forcing captive people to worship their god. Yeah, here, though, it's more of an emperor worship kind of thing, even if they don't call it that. The emperor cult kind of stuff with Rome. Yeah, I can see a correspondence there. You use Sipsby, Wavy Cat? I don't know enough, second, to know how they how it actually portrays out. If they see him as a god, or if they just see him as benevolent, or if they, I don't fully know what the people actually believe, or how, you know, from going through the motions of whatever he demands. So, I don't know. Wait, oh, you used to use it for a while. It sends a box of tea on your schedule. You have too much tea, so you pause your subscription. They have some good selection, loose and bagged. Yeah. I also like getting it from the suppliers who are actually the farmers. So I've used Vadam tea, which I get it straight from the plantations, which I like that. No middlemen. And I've got other brands I do too. I'll have to look into it. Okay, so the Gentiles use this system called benefactors, where I oppress you, but I give you something, therefore you think I'm benevolent. Okay. Not so with you. Instead, who is the greatest must be the youngest, and the leader must be the one who serves. Often, we have is leaders are the ones who are served. Leaders are not the ones doing serving. For who is greater, the one who is seated at the table or the one who serves? Is it not the one who is seated at the table? But I am among you as one who serves. So let's just go like, yes, the one seated at the table is greater than the one serving at the table. Yes, but I'm here as one who serves. I'm here going to serve you. Oh yeah, no worries on rabbit trails. We do it all the time. You are the ones who have remained with me in my trials. Thus I grant to you a kingdom, just as my Father granted to me, that you may eat and drink at my table, and you will sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, just a question here. Has Judas left yet? Has Judas left yet? I don't know in Luke's account yet. I'm just asking the question. We had that Judas was going to be entered in by Satan. That conversation happens. Did Judas slip out at this point, or is Judas still here? Luke hasn't told us. But he says, the ones who have remained, you are the ones who are going to judge the 12 tribes. Even if, so let's just suppose Judas is here. Even if Judas is going to, at this point, he has not actually betrayed Jesus. He may be forfeiting later on and then be replaced by Matthias, who takes his place. So even if the promise is there that Judas could have done this, I don't think it likely that he will. I think he forfeits it by his actions and is replaced by Matthias in the process of they replaced Judas. So anyway. Or is this just symbolic? That the ones who are following Jesus are the ones who are going to judge what Israel did. Oh, that makes sense. They're just going to be in prominent positions overseeing the people and what they're doing. So, Simon, pay attention. Satan has demanded to have you all to sift like wheat. Wait. All? I don't remember that. The pronoun is plural in the Greek text. So it refers to all the disciples, which Peter is the representative. Ooh, I don't remember that piece. They added the word all, which is great here. Why? Because you in English, we do not always know if it's singular or plural. And when it's addressing Simon and it says has demanded to sift you, I'm thinking this is only Peter, Simon Peter, but it's all of them. Peter, you're the one who is the one to oversee your brothers. You are your brother's keeper. You are the Behor. You are the chief. You are the one among who is to care for all of the rest. So Peter, be on alert. Satan's after all of you. I already told you Satan is already come to enter one of you. He's demanded all of you. He's going to sift you all. Okay? So he's entering one and he's sifting the rest. But I pray for you, Simon, that you will not, your faith may not fail. Okay, I need to go look, is it singular or plural here? So 32. Oh, I guess not. 31. So this is second person singular. So this is, hey Mel, welcome in. This one is definitely Simon himself individually. So he said, be on the lookout, be on the guard, Simon. Satan is trying to sift all of you, but Peter, I prayed that your faith may not fail. When you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. Okay, you're going to fail. I'm praying that your faith may not fail. When it does, and you turn back, strengthen your brothers. But Peter said to him, Lord, I am ready to go with you both to prison and to death. Jesus replied, I tell you, Peter, the rooster will not crow today until you have denied 3 times that you know me. So this one is not the rooster crows 3 times. This one is Peter denies 3 times. Don't automatically sit here and try to merge all the stories together and make them into one cohesive narrative. Okay? What if it is recalling that Jesus said, you'll deny me 3 times before the rooster crows, or whether it's the rooster will crow 3 times, you'll deny me? Does it change the intent of the denying, and does it change the intent of how long it's going to take? No. So if I choose to tell it one way and someone else tells it another way, and what if it's a third way that it actually happened? Does it diminish the Bible? No. No. We don't have to have a literal download of everything that happened in precisely the way it's happened. They're telling the story to elicit us to have a response. I'm here going, dude, are you seriously? You're that braggadocious and you're going to fall that far. I mean, that's what I'm seeing here. All right. We got ads coming in. I'm going to give you the fishies. Let's go there.
Flat cat pasture rocks his tweed, streaming life by the reeds. Fish pond calm and glassy clear, view it all right from here. Dapper man with sax in hand plays tunes by his quiet land. Acoustic guitar in the breeze serenades the fish with ease. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flat cat pasture shows the way, stream it live come what may.
With his cam he shows it all. Little fish both big and small. Life in ponds so serene. Nature's beauty on a screen. See the ripples, watch the flow. Hear the music, gentle glow. Flat caps charm and calm.
I found it. I found it. I found it. The activate CloudBot little thing was turned off. So we should be good.
Flat cat pasture shows the way. Stream it live, come what may. Refuse Cami shows it all. Little fish, both big and small. Life in ponds so serene. Nature's beauty on a screen. See the ripples, watch the flow. Hear the music, gentle glow. Flat caps charm, calm in tone. Makes the fish feel right at home. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flat cat pasture shows the way. Stream it live.
All right. So I just thought I'd go look at Streamlabs there, figure out what the problem was. I tried Friday. I finally got it figured out. Little tab that says activate. Like, why would it unactivate itself? I don't know. And then I'll give you a reminder, not tell you what you need to do. It's been so long. It just works. I didn't think about that. Anyway, so the commands are back, everybody. So you can pass cookies. We can get caught up on words now. There we go. There we go. And let's go with rabbits. We've had a few of them. And one more. All right. That ought to do it. Who knows what we're really at? It's silliness, and we don't know, but it's fun anyway. Okay. So, still, is Judas there or not? We haven't seen Judas leave. So if Judas shows up, then we know he did leave. Okay. Oatmeal plus Epsom salt helps antibacterial soap. Example dial hand soap reduces a lot, but still not 100% here. And they're persistent, but still much better than it was before. Yeah, the oatmeal and Epsom salt. That's a good one for sure. Okay. So Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times, and you need to restore everybody. Then Jesus said to them, when I sent you out with no money bag or traveler's bag or sandals, you didn't lack anything, did you? And the Greek is going to assume the answer is no. It's built into the question phrasing. They replied, nothing. He said to them, But now the one who has a money bag must take it, and likewise a traveler's bag too. And the one who has no sword must sell his cloak and buy one. What? What you talking about? The one who has no sword must sell his cloak and buy one. For I tell you that the scripture must be fulfilled in me, and he was counted with the transgressors. For what is written about me is being fulfilled. So they said, Look, Lord, here are 2 swords. Then he told them, It is enough. I still think Simon the Zealot has one of the 2 swords. Still totally think, oh wait, if Judas is still there, I think the other sword is Judas. I think Judas Iscariot may also have been a zealot. That's my opinion. I can't prove it. But the fact that he goes to seek to try to force Jesus' hands to enact and to rebel, I think that makes him a sympathizer to the zealots, if not a zealot himself. So, hey, nice rabbit there. You know what we ought to get? We ought to get a little Monty Python rabbit with the big ferocious teeth and blood all. No, we don't need that. Then Jesus went out and made his way, as he customarily did, to the Mount of Olives, and the disciples followed him. When he came to the place, he said to them, Pray that you do not fall into temptation. He went away from them a stone's throw, knelt down, and prayed. Okay, so what are they supposed to be praying? They're supposed to be praying to not fall into temptation. So he already told them Satan has asked to challenge you all. And so pray that you don't fall into temptation. Somewhere at this point, Judas has to have left. Did Luke mean for us to feel like he left already? Or as they go out to the Mount of Olives, is this where Judas slips away? Clearly at this point, we need to make an assumption Judas has left. Was he there for the promise of the 12? I don't know. Is he there now as Jesus is praying? I'm assuming he's not. And from the other Gospels, we know at some point he leaves. Sounds like he leaves from the meal. So then I would push that back into the story. After the taking of the cup, he talks about the betraying. So Judas had to be there after the institution of Passover, of the Lord's Supper at Passover, which means, Jesus gave the Lord's Supper to Judas, knowing that Judas had been entered by Satan and was going to betray him. Even though he was going to go and sin, Jesus still welcomed him into receiving the Lord's Supper. So knowing that someone is going to sin is not a barrier to keep you. He also knew that Peter would deny him and the others would abandon him. Those are all actions of neglecting and betraying and abandoning Jesus. They did not exclude anyone from participating in the Lord's Supper. 100 miles? 131 miles. I'm not sure what you're asking 100 miles for. If you're just clarifying, yeah, we'll do riding later today, sometime this afternoon. It'll be likely when it is. Okay. Also the Mount of Olives. Okay, what was this part? I can't remember. Like I said, I just listened to a podcast. I need to go back and listen to that one again. Okay, so they're praying not to fall into temptation, and then Jesus is going to pray. Oh, progress is 131. I showed that earlier. You just must not have been here. There's the progress. 131.7. Okay. And if you want, you can just go here. And you'll be able to track my progress when I am not online. So. Father, if you are willing, take this cup away from me. Which cup? The cup that he gave them that said, this is the new covenant in my blood. This is the cup that he wants to take away from. Well, it's Great Cycle Challenge. It's right there in the link. You just had to read the link. The Great Cycle Challenge is what it is. A cup alludes to the wrath of God that Jesus would experience, the suffering. I think no. He said this cup. Taking the cup, he said, this is the new covenant in my blood. So yes, you could allude it to God's wrath. I don't even want to go that far. We just stay away from the symbolism. It's the new covenant in his blood. That's the cup. That's the cup. The new covenant in his blood. That's the cup. Because he said, this is the cup. Yet not my will, but yours be done. Then an angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. And in his anguish, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground. Angelic aid is not elsewhere in the Gospels. Several significant Greek manuscripts, along with diverse and widespread versional witnesses, lack 43 to 44. In addition, are placed after Matthew 26 in F13. Floating text typically suggests both spurious and early scribal impulse to regard the verses as historically authentic. These verses are included in all of these. However, a number of manuscripts mark the text with an asterisk or an obelisk, indicating the scribe assessment of the verse is inauthentic. At the same time, these verses generally fit Luke's style. Arguments can be given on both sides whether scribes would tend to include or omit such comments about Jesus' humanity and angels' help. But even if the verses are not literally authentic, they are probably historically authentic. This is due to the fact that the text as well was well known in several different locales from the very earlier period, since there are no synoptic problems to this account, and since there is no obvious reason for adding the words here. Here's the thing that I would agree with. There's no obvious reason why you would add this. It's not, oh, I'll make the story better if I'll add it. Oh, it's from another place. I'll include it here. The exclusion of it would be more likely to harmonize it with the other accounts that don't include it. So why would you add it? It's harder to explain. Therefore, it's more likely that the verses recount a part of the actual suffering of the Lord. Nevertheless, because of the serious doubt of these verses' authenticity, they've been put in brackets for an important discussion of the problem. So there's no good rationale for why they would have been added. They're not trying to harmonize something. Eliminating them would harmonize things, so there's a good argument for eliminating them, but there's still early on attestation of questioning if their authenticity, but it fits Luke's style of giving physical things about a story that nobody else includes. So, second, that's what you thought too. There's like a Bible saying, cup you drink or not drink. Yeah, John 18. So Jesus said to Peter, put your sword in your sheath, the cup which the Father has given me, you shall not drink it. Yeah. But we just read here in Luke when he said he took the cup. So I think that's the cup that he is talking about when we get further on. The cup passed from me is the cup that he took and said it's the new covenant in his blood. When he got up from prayer, he came and found the disciples sleeping, exhausted from grief. So he said to them, why are you sleeping? Get up and pray that you will not fall into temptation. One of the things that the reader of the audience may or may not know is the customary practice of watching and staying awake on the night of Passover to be on alert. That was one of the things you were supposed to do on this occasion of the Passover, is stay awake and alert. So not everyone had that responsibility, but some did. And here he has given it to the disciples, and he said, don't fall into temptation, and to pray, and now they've fallen asleep. While he was still speaking, suddenly a crowd appeared. Why do we have a crowd appeared? They're looking, like just think through this for a minute. Why do we have a crowd appearing? The whole point of them finding a time when Jesus wasn't in a crowd was so that they could betray him and capture him. Now they're coming with a crowd. Well, crowd might not be the right word here. And the one called Judas leading, the abrupt appearance of the crowd on the scene is indicated by the translation suddenly and appeared. Okay. Like I said, crowd might not be the word here. A mob. Suddenly a mob appeared would probably be better. They may not have a distinction between the crowd that is peaceful and the crowd that is violent. But since we know they are coming with ill intent, I think I would go in a translation here and say mob, because the leaders already said they don't want him in front of a crowd because they can't arrest him in front of a crowd because the crowd might go and turn on them. Here, if it's a mob, the mob is already coming against Jesus. So I think we could go in that direction. And the man named Judas. Notice he is the man named Judas. He's not the disciple Judas. The man named Judas, one of the 12, was leading him. Although I didn't say the 12, but that's interesting phrasing. Excuse me. It's trying to clear my throat. He walked up to Jesus and he kissed him. But Jesus had him, Judas, would you betray the Son of Man with a kiss? Many manuscripts add here, for this was the sign he gave them. However, I kiss you, the one. This edition is almost certainly not original, since most of the manuscripts lack it. It's a copyist attempt to clarify the text, an accidental allusion in a marginal gloss. Okay. Jesus' comment about betraying the Son of Man with a kiss shows the hypocrisy and blindness of an intent to cover up the sin on misused kisses in the Bible. Ooh. Then his father Isaac said to him, come here and kiss me, my son. So Jacob went over and kissed him. Then Isaac caught the scent of his clothing and blessed him and said, yes, my son smells like this. I've never seen that. The kiss of death. Ooh. What come in one reason? No. The kiss of deception. Kiss of deception. The kiss of Jacob pretending to be Esau is a kiss of deception. And here Judas is pretending to be a disciple when he is a betrayer. Ooh. Ooh. I've never seen that. That's so cool. And when someone approached to bow before him, Absalom would extend his hand and embrace and kiss him. Okay, so that's a usurping kiss of I'm taking power that doesn't belong to me. Judas has taken power and tried to have power over Jesus. I could see that being applied. Proverbs. So she grabbed him and kissed him, and with both expressions said to him, I have no idea what that one is about. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but kisses of an enemy are excessive. Ooh. Joab and Amasa, how are you, my brother? With your right hand, Joab took hold of Amasa's beard as if to greet him with a kiss. Okay. I'm just going to stick with the first two there. And then the proverb is an interesting one there. But the kiss of a betrayer and the kiss of a usurper. Yeah, we've got Judas betraying, or a deception there, kiss of deception, betraying his brother. And usurper, I guess usurper works in both. He's taking the power of his brother, the blessing of the Behor. He's taking the position away. Judas is trying to, oh man. Concordance kiss. You could, it's just going to tell you every place the word shows up, but we could also do that over here. So that's verse 48. Philema.
Strong's G 5370. Philema. Philema.
All right, Philema. A kiss. A kiss with which, as a sign of fraternal affection, Christians were accustomed to welcoming or dismiss their companions in the faith. It's only used 7 times. So you were talking about concordance. Here it is. So Luke twice, Romans, Corinthians, Thessalonians, and Peter. Salute one another with a holy kiss. All brothers and sisters greet with a holy kiss. Greet one another with a holy kiss. Greet the brother with a holy kiss. Greet one another with a kiss of charity. So outside of Luke, when he is supposed to have been greeted and welcomed into the house, but the woman has been kissing the feet, and the kiss of betrayal here. So, yes, the commands are back. Commands are back. You went on, well, on our last break, I went again and tried to figure it out. The little button that turns on CloudBot was unclicked. Weird. Judas here establishing the first kiss and tell. So, maybe. No. Maybe we could see. I was gonna say Samson and Delilah, but that I don't know if that is or not. There's no kiss mention. Yeah, it's simple as a checkbox. I know that's frustrating though. Like I'm logged in. Why would I not have it turned on? Okay, back to the kissing fest. I mean, the betrayal. By the way, that's super cool there. I've never seen that. Okay. So let me just point this out to you. I cannot tell you how many times I have read the Gospels. I cannot tell you how many messages I have heard on Holy Week and read through these every single year for the past 25 years and beyond. And to find something new, of this connection of the kiss to going back to Jacob betraying his brother, and in Samuel, what was the Samuel one? Who was in Samuel? Oh, Absalom, usurping his father, with the use of a kiss. Never seen that. And then the podcast I listened to talking about Holy Week as a laying out of the days of creation. Like, how have I never seen these? Because no one's ever mentioned them. I've never been aware of them. Someone else points them out to me. This is why we do things in community here. This is why we do it. It's like, I'm not here to teach you everything. I'm still learning. I don't know everything. I've not seen everything. I mean, this is a new one. The footnotes helped us find it. I didn't know that. The podcast helped me learn something new. I'm here. You have things to contribute. I have things to help you with. We ask questions of one another. The questions lead us to finding more answers. It's just like, this is why I love this. This is why it's so exciting. This is why I will never tire of reading the Bible. Okay. When those who were around him saw what was about to happen, they said, "Lord, should we use our swords?" Then one of them struck the high priest's slave, cutting off his right ear. Okay, one of them. The unnamed disciple is Peter, according to John, Matthew, and Mark. So Luke leaves him unnamed, but I'm going to guess Simon the Zealot has one sword, and Simon Peter has the other sword. I think one of the, so he cuts off the high priest slave, cutting off his right ear. But Jesus said, "Enough of this!" And he touched the man's ear and healed him. Then Jesus said to the chief priest and officers of the temple guard and the elders who had come out with him. Okay, so before we get to that, so remember, Jesus just said, hey, I need to be counted among sinners. They've just taken actions to be counted among sinners. Okay, we'll come back to this, cutting off the ear. We've got ads rolling in. I'm watching. You feel that moment when you both relieved and kind of want to pop yourself in your forehead. Nightbot was acting really mean for weeks in a row, and then you found out that you needed to do is leave the site and come back and unmod and mod again. Slightly more complicated, unplugging and plugging back in. Yeah. I did try to do the log out and log back in, and then that's where I found it. So I probably only need to click the button.
Pastor with a cheerful heart, no lie, preaching joy so high to the sky. He'll be right back, yes, he'll be right back. He'll be back in 2 or 3. Flat cat dapper, flat cat dapper. We'll be right back after this break. No mistake, joy they make. I'll be right back. Yeah, we'll be right back in 2 or 3. Right back after this break. No mistake, joy they make. I'll be right back, yes, I'll be right back in 2 or 3.
All right. Good morning, Gamer Night. Good morning, friend. All right, we need to try to finish this chapter. I'm not sure how far we will get. We will not get into the crucifixion today. We've been taking our time going through this. I'm fine with going slow as we need to. And also, we cannot go past 10. I need to hit the road. I have an in-person meeting. And so I'll be running an hour away, having lunch with someone, coming back and trying to get all of that done in time to do Game of the Week. So if I'm a little late on Game of the Week today at 2 o'clock, that will be why. We'll probably only stream for 2 hours today, and then I'll flip over and we'll go bike ride, and then I'll be back for the gaming podcast. So we probably won't go to fish today. I know I've been having not a lot of fish stream, and that might be the case for the rest of the month as I'm trying to get bike rides in. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. But anyway, let's get back to our story. Then Jesus said to the... Oh, wait, we have him healing the ear. So it's the right ear. So here's the interesting thing here. I mean, I don't want to go into it a lot, but if you're cutting off the right ear and you're right-handed, you are crossing the body to be able to cut off the right ear. You're going across. Just think through that. So you're crossing the body. Is there significance of it being the right ear? I don't know. I've heard some people talk about that possibility. I'm just raising it. Don't just go past details. You know? Why does it give me the detail it's his right ear? I need to ask why. Why? But Jesus heals him. Okay. Then Jesus said to the chief priests and officers in the temple guard and the elders who had come out to get him. So this is the crowd, not just random people. It's the chief priests, officers, temple guard, elders. This is who's come to get Jesus. Have you come out with swords and clubs like you would against an outlaw? Day after day, when I was with you in the temple courts, you did not arrest me, but this is your hour and that of the power of darkness. You're acting at night. You're under the power of darkness. You're doing it at night. You're doing it deceptively. Okay, you could have done it publicly and you chose not to. Then they arrested him, led him away, and brought him into the high priest's house. Putting all the gospel accounts together, there is a brief encounter with Annas, brought him to the high priest's house here, and John 18:13, where Annas is named, and the meeting led to Caiaphas, and then the Sanhedrin meeting. These latter two meetings might be connected and apparently went into the morning. So if you're trying to put a chronology of the meetings together, here's one order that they've tried to suggest. Okay, I'm not big into let's try to harmonize all of the stuff. Let's accept Luke's account for Luke's telling of it. We know more information, great, that can fill in our picture, but we don't have to add it all the time, and then we don't have to wonder what's the order of things. So we're in the high priest's house. Got it. Peter was following at a distance when they had made a fire in the middle of the courtyard and sat down together. Peter sat down among them. What's the purpose of this? Peter's in the courtyard. Peter is following. That's the purpose of this story. Then a slave girl, seeing him as he sat in the firelight, stared at him and said, "This man was with him too." But Peter denied it. "Woman, I don't know him." Then a little later, someone else saw him and said, "You're one of them too." But Peter said, Man, I am not." After about an hour, still another insisted, "Certainly this man was with him because he too is a Galilean." But Peter said, "Man, I don't know what you talk about." At that moment, while he was still speaking, a rooster crowed. Then the Lord turned and looked straight at Peter. This is the part that gets me. Okay, so Luke's telling of this. It's the importance of what happens with Peter. That's why Luke is telling this. It's the importance of what happened to Peter. So 3 different people in Luke's account tell the story. In, I think, John's account, it's the servant girl twice. It does not matter who did it, okay? You're telling the story. Peter is refusing to admit he is a follower of Jesus. So a traditional thought in Jewish culture would be Peter has just betrayed his rabbi. We think betraying is deeper, and it is turning him over to the authorities, and Judas is the betrayer. Jews would consider this as a betrayal. He has turned against his rabbi. He has not confessed to be a follower of his rabbi. That is a betrayal of your rabbi. To not confess that you are a follower of your rabbi, you have betrayed your rabbi. So that's why all the way through the Gospels, they say Judas is the betrayer to help us understand, because Judas, in their thinking, could have come back. He had wrong motives. He did a bad thing, but he didn't actually betray because he was just trying to get his rabbi to live up to what he thought the rabbi's teachings were. He didn't deny his rabbi, which is what they would have thought as betrayal. So anyway, we use that term differently. I just like to point that out. And then when the rooster crows, Jesus looks straight at Peter like, "Bro, seriously, bro, are you kidding me, bro? Wait, I told you we're going to do it." And so it's not, maybe that's like, "Oh, Peter, you'll get through it, Peter. I mean, I'm over here doing this and you're over there doing that, Peter." Okay. And Peter remembered the word of the Lord. Now how he had said to him, "Before the rooster crows today, you will deny me thrice." I like saying that better than 3 times. And he went outside and wept bitterly. When Peter wept bitterly, it showed he really did not want to fail here, and he was deeply grieved at how he had. Sure. Also, if he is weeping out loud, he fully feels this. It's not a show. He is broken. He has just become the thing that he could not imagine himself to be. Now the men who were holding Jesus under guard began to mock him and beat him. They blindfolded him and asked him repeatedly, "Prophesy, who hit you?" I should do it this way. "Prophesy, who hit you?" Then they also said many other things against him, reviling him. When day came, the council of the elders of the people gathered together, both the chief priests and the experts in the law. Then they led Jesus away to their council and said, if you are the Christ, tell us." But he said nothing. If I tell you, you will not believe me. And if I ask you, you will not answer. But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of power of God. So they all said to him, "Are you the Son of God then?" He answered them, "You say that I am." And then they said, Why do we need further testimony? We have heard it ourselves from his own lips. Okay. We'll keep going. I'm going to find a spot to break here at some point, though. Then the whole group of them rose up and brought Jesus before Pilate. So this is why they put the break there, because now we're going to Pilate. They began to accuse him, saying, "We found this man subverting our nation, forbidding us to pay the tribute tax to Caesar." False, completely false lie. "And claiming that he himself is Christ, a king." So Pilate asked Jesus, "Are you the king of the Jews?" He replied, "You say so." Then Peter said to the chief priests and the crowds, "I find no basis for an accusation against this man." But they persisted in saying, "He incites the people by teaching throughout all Judea. It started in Galilee and ended up here." You really need an audio Bible done by Flatcap. Well, I would have to find a consistent voice to use, because I just vary the voice whatever I'm feeling for the day. Objection! False witness! Omega, I like that. I like that. All right. Now, when Pilate heard this, he asked whether the man was a Galilean. When he heard that he was from Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him over to Herod, who also happened to be in Jerusalem at the time. When Herod saw Jesus, he was very glad, for he had long desired to see him because he had heard about him and was hoping to see him perform some miraculous sign. He's looking for a sign. So Herod questioned him at considerable length. Jesus gave him no answer. So he's looking for a sign. Jesus won't give him a sign. Jesus won't answer him. The chief priest and experts in the law were there, vehemently accusing him. Even Herod, with his soldiers, treated him with contempt and mocked him. Then, dressing him in elegant clothes, Herod sent him back to Pilate. That very day, Herod and Pilate became friends with each other, for prior to this, they had been enemies. So, I don't know that this means literally friends. They're on the same team. They are both seeking to figure out what to do with Jesus. That's what I think we mean by being on the same team. They're on team. We've got Jesus. This mockery involved putting elegant royal robes on him, either white or purple, the colors of royalty. This was no doubt a mockery of Jesus' claim to be king. Yes. Then Pilate, oops, scrolled too far. Then Pilate called together the chief priests, the leaders of the people, and said to them, "You brought me this man as one who was misleading the people. When I examined him before you, I did not find this man guilty of anything you accuse him of doing. Neither did Herod, for he sent him back to us. Look, he has done nothing deserving death. I will therefore have him flogged and release him." Look at Jesus making friends of enemies. Omega. Wait, Herod's son that tried to kill him in Bethlehem? Imagine the recounting the one that got away to his children up to his deathbed. Ooh. Except I don't know that Herod knows that one got away. If he had all the babies killed and nobody made a claim during his lifetime to be it, his father could have made the assumption he got them all. But I like your thought there of the irony of standing before the son. Ooh, if we're on Passover. Okay, so let's look through this a minute. We're at the celebration of Passover, where you're celebrating that the blood was on the door to pass over the firstborn son being killed. And the firstborn son has escaped that from the tyrant Herod, not Pharaoh, who tried to kill the firstborn son of everyone in the country, who had killed all the babies in Egypt, the ruler who had done that. And now the son is there to witness the one who had escaped, regardless of knowing or not knowing that. Oh, that's fascinating, Omega. That's fascinating. Oh, no, nothing on your bad. I'm just clarifying that. How does he know? Does he know? I'm not assuming he knows that one got away. But still, the irony of standing before the son of the father who tried to kill you as an infant. The irony of Moses standing before Pharaoh, whose father had tried to have him killed as a baby. Same circumstance. We have a replay. I don't think I would have seen this without you, Omega. We have a replay of the infant who was to be killed standing before the son of the one who tried to kill the infant. It still works. It still works. Even without the knowledge, it still works. We have a replay of Moses, the prophet like Moses, who was to be killed as an infant, standing before the one who wants to have him killed. Ooh! Did that give anybody else chills? Okay. Yeah, Omega, mind blown. That's a good one. That's a mind. I know we've had so many of those today, and I'm so familiar with this. This is so amazing. Should have clipped that. But they all shouted out together, "Take this man away! Release Barabbas to us!" This was the man who had been thrown into prison for an insurrection started in the city and for murder. Pilate addressed them once again because he wanted to release Jesus. But they kept on shouting, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" A third time he asked them, "Why? What has he done wrong? I have found him guilty of no crime deserving death. I will therefore flog him and release him." But they were insistent because with loud shouts that he be crucified, and their shouts prevailed. So Pilate decided that their demand should be granted. He released the man they had asked for, who had been thrown in prison for insurrection and murder. He then handed Jesus over to their will. Okay. So let's play this through. We often have the image of Pilate saying, "I'll have him flogged," and all of like the chronology of this. He said, "I'll have him flogged." I think what he does, if you follow through the narration here and try to see it, Pilate is trying to appease the people. He's going to go have him flogged to avoid crucifixion. He flogs him, brings him back, presents him to the people. it didn't appease them. The crowd is riled up. So the thing that figure this one out. The thing that the Pharisees and religious leaders were afraid of was having a mob turn on them. Now that Jesus has been arrested, they have Jesus in the position of Rome doing all of their dirty work and the crowd being on their side, and they're going to get what they want. So the flogging does not appease the crowd. I mean, like it would. I mean, come on. It's not going to do that. Let me just scroll a minute, see how far we've got. Okay. Let's see if we can finish Simon here of Cyrene. As they led him away, they seized Simon of Cyrene, who was coming into the country. They placed the cross on his back and made him carry it behind Jesus. A great number of people followed him, among the women who were mourning and wailing for him. But Jesus turned and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For this is certain." So I scrolled too far. "The days are coming when you will say, 'Blessed are the barren, the wombs that never bore children, and the breasts that never nursed.' Then they will begin to say to the mountains, 'Fall on us,' and to the hills, 'Cover us.' For if such things are done when the wood is green, what will happen when it's dry?" So I think all of this is the warning of what is going to come in their lifetime when Rome comes not just to crush the king of the Jews, but when they come to destroy the temple and crush them all. Okay, I do want to look at one thing here. Cyrene. Jesus was beaten severely with whip before this, the prelude to the crucifixion, known to the Romans as verbentio, mentioned in Matthew, Mark, and John. So he would have not been able, or he would have been weak from the trauma and loss of blood. Apparently, he was unable to bear the cross himself. So Simon of Cyrene is located in North Africa. Tripoli is located here. Okay, they're not giving me anything on that. I wanted to go look up Cyrene. So verse 26. This will be the last thing we look up. We are in what? We are in 23. Okay.
Strong's G 2956. Kurenaios. Kurenaios.
A native of Cyrene. It is 3 times Cyrene and 3 times Cyrenian. So it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Acts. Okay, I wanted Old Testament. There was nothing. Okay. I wanted to... there's a connection with Cyrene. I'm just trying to remember what it is. Supersonic, one thing you wonder how the Chosen will show season 6 after the man had his ear cut off healed. I wonder if it would then believe or after Christ's death or on the cross. Oh yeah, they could play that into some section. In the Old Testament, Cyrene is mentioned. Okay, wait. Come on. Okay, I'm not finding anything. I know I've run across people talking about the significance of Cyrene. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure about it. Just looking at that, the woman's love for Jesus overcame their fear. The women's love for Jesus overcame their fear of being persecuted for associating with him. Yes, Omega, it totally does. It totally does. And also, at this point, there is not much fear of the women that harm will come to them. when Paul is coming after the church, though, the women are being arrested. So it goes from here, them able to follow freely. With the Romans, no fear of persecution, but under the Jewish persecution, they have to find a place to hide. Supersonic Devo to share in your DMs that ties the judgment topic you mentioned. Okay to share here? Yes, go ahead. You can share here. We got ads coming in, and then we're going to raid out. So we are, let me see, where did we end up? Okay, so 2331. 2331. That's where we finish. All right, so we've got ads. We'll be here. Let's find someone else to raid. So we get back, we'll be ready to do that. We'll pray, and we'll raid out.
Master rocks his tweet, streaming life by the reeds. Fish pond calm and glassy clear, view it all right from here. Dapper man with sax in hand, plays tunes by his quiet land. Acoustic guitar in the breeze serenades the fish with ease. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flatcat Pastor shows the way, stream it live come what may. With his cam he shows it all, little fish both big and small. Life in ponds so serene, nature's beauty on a screen. See the ripples, watch the flow, hear the music, gentle glow. Flat cap's charm and calming tone makes the fish feel right at home. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flat Cat Pastor shows the way, stream it live, come what may.
All right, we will be back a couple of times today. So we'll be back around 2 o'clock, and we will be doing some video games on the Church Digital. Then we'll be back over here. We'll do some bicycling, and then we'll be back on the Church Digital with a podcast tonight at 8 o'clock. So busy, busy, busy. Why would it not be? That's how my life is. I didn't read all of that, Supersonic. If you want to share that in Discord as well, that would be great. I'm gonna just give a blessing in prayer, and we're gonna raid out. So, God, we're just praying for workers for the harvest. The harvest is plentiful, and the workers are few. So we are praying for that. We are doing a digital missionary conference to help with that. And so I just pray that you will bless that we will reach people, that we will raise up new missionaries to be salt and light in digital spaces. Amen. May God's seeking comfort find you. May his loving arms bind you. May his might protect you. May his wisdom direct you. May the joyous love of Jesus Christ be with you and all those you know, both now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you, friends, for hanging out with me. I appreciate you so much. Coming and spending part of your day with me. Love you. I'll see you later, hopefully. If not, I will see you later some other day. Amen. Yeah, Supersonic, I did see that you had multiple posts, so that's why I was saying I was not going to have time to read all of that before we head out. Blessings.
Flat cap on his head, he's streaming live.
Sunshine S Games is one of my OG mods from my very first stream, and then life with kids got in the way and she's not able to mod very often. But let's go give Sunshine S Games some love. She's got a bunch of stuff you can be helping and playing and joining.
Hallelujah, from the screen we scream, join the pastor in the